All right, the macro is recording, right? Under developer, record macro. I was just going to check real quick. So let's say with this macro, I want to type the number 1 in cell A1, type the number 2 in B1, type the number 3 in C1. And then I decide to stop recording. And now, let's go to sheet 2. And let's use that macro. Click on the macro button. Macro 1, run the macro. And it puts 1, 2, 3 there. Okay. Well, usually, in the past, that may be all you guys ever did. But now you know that there's some code behind that. We can inspect it. Click on the Visual Basic button. And it's somewhere in here. Oh, there it is. All right. So, if I can magnify this like I do on my computer. Yeah. Magnify. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like this. How do I? It's horrible. Yeah, I know. I don't like that. I like this. That change it? No. Whatever. I don't like this phone. I don't know why it doesn't work like mine. Oh, I have 2 windows open. Laugh. I should be doing the join with this, right?
It's on already.
Oh, it is on.
Yeah.
Okay. You recorded all this. You're going to edit all this out, right? Okay. So we're just going to not magnify. Okay, so macro 1. Let's just go through it line by line. Active cell dot formula R1 C1 equals 1. Range B1 dot select. Well, I know what that's doing. So apparently,
Switched it around.
yeah. I'm gonna actually do a test with this macro really fast to see if it's see how funny it is. Okay, go to sheet 3. I'm gonna put the cursor right here and then run the macro.
Oh yeah, it's over here.
Okay.
It's the one wherever you
Yeah.
put your cursor.
That's right. So it didn't do what I thought it would do. So let's go back to the code. All right. So what it's saying is, in the active cell,
It puts one.
it puts the number 1. So that's wherever I'm currently put. Then it selects B1 as your active cell. So the next time it puts in number 2, it's in cell B1. And then it selects cell C1, puts number 3. Then the last thing it does is selects A1, and then it's over. So the nice thing about this is we can fix it, right? We just stick this on the top. So now it will act kind of what as expected. Now it'll select A1 and put a 1 there. So let's go back and try it. I can put the cursor anywhere, run the macro. There we go. 1, 2. That's what I wanted. Yeah.
Sorry, I have a Mac, so I was busy trying to find where that 12 tab was.
Uh-huh.
What file do you have open? I'm just confused.
I have no file open. This is just from scratch. Yeah. Okay. Let's record another macro.
question?
Yeah, sure.
About the phrase order or the order. Does the range always come first before the action or the order?
Well, I mean, there's no saying what has to come first. It's depending what you want to do. But in this case,
Yeah, obviously.
we want to select a cell. After we select a cell, it becomes what's called active cell.
Right.
And then whatever we put in active cell is in the.
So like syntax or order to the structure of these.
Oh yeah. So if I rearranged all these lines, it would still work. It wouldn't do what we expected it to do.
But change the functions or the macros.
It would just change kind of how it behaved. There are syntax rules you have to follow, of course. But in this case, these lines wouldn't break the code if we reordered them. Another question back there? No. Okay. All right. So let's run another macro. Let's record another macro where I don't know. I'll let Bina. I'll let you decide what we do. Okay. So I'm just going to hit record macro. I'll give you a blank sheet. You tell me to do a couple things. Then we'll look at the code. Okay. All right. You're on the clock. What's your innermost Excel fantasy? Four, five, six. 4, 5, 6, like that. All right. And you can't just copy what I did and use different numbers. You gotta. Well, you know, we could do other things other than we could add the numbers together in a different cell. Do the sum function of where? Under the 6, next to the 4, or next to the. Okay, so equals sum. Right. Anything else to make the results bold or something like that? Yeah, let's do it. Make it bold. Good idea. Little B. There we go. That's it? Okay, let's stop recording. This will get really complicated really fast. Okay, macro 2. Alright, Dina, you're still going to tell me what these mean, alright?
Do the same thing again.
Let me just fix it and then we'll. Now, wait a minute. This is supposed to be A1, right? Let's just, you know, we're smart. We can just fix it.
Is that where you? Is that where your cursor ended?
Is this supposed to be A1?
Yeah.
Okay, like,
D2?
yeah, it is E1.
No, I think you have to select it again so that you
No. Oh, for it to be.
yeah.
No, it'll still be. I don't know. Maybe you're right, but maybe not. Let's see what happens.
Did you record the macro before you pressed 4, 5, and 6 before you entered those in?
Yeah.
Yes, hit record and then do your action and then stop.
Okay, anyway. So go ahead, Bina. A1 is what? So select A1. And then it puts a 4 there, right? Then. Yeah, see how it does the sum function? It says something like, it says a range. Yeah, I don't even know this code, right? I know what it does. So this is how I'm learning how to do things. Also, I mean, I'm learning how to do things in Excel, right? But we know exactly what this does, right? Even though you've never seen code like this before. So what does this mean? It's like a range of 3 cells.
with
Like, yeah, it goes 3 cells back all the way to 1 cell back. Right? It looks 3 cells back up to 1 cell back, and it's some. Okay, see how it embedded a worksheet function in your code called sum, and then so you can use worksheet functions in your code. Okay. Now, what's this do? What? Folds the sum. And Chris Vasquez was questioning whether that would fold the.
Yeah, because you have to select D1.
D1,
You have to
yeah.
tell what cell.
But D1's already selected. I don't think the selection changed. So I'm guessing it's gonna. I'm guessing it's still gonna fold it. Yeah. Okay, let's just see. Go back here. We'll just kind of delete this. Okay, I'll run the macro. Yeah. This is already selected. Alright, let's do one more example of someone who wants to do something a little more, something different. Anyone have an idea? Or should I just do something?
Can you make it flash?
Can I make it flash?
You alternate the colors so when it plays, it looks like it's flashing.
You know what? Were you watching me back there? Because
No.
I was going to do that as my example after this example.
Sorry.
I was just gonna
No,
put
it's-
like heading,
And
like D, and then you can move it, and then add borders around it, and put a filter on it.
wait a second. Okay, so
Thank you.
okay, good. So you guys are realizing that things you want to accomplish in Excel, you can just record a macro that does it and stick that in your code. Okay, so tell me what to do because
Okay, how about we do A6?
so I'll hit record macro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then what? A6.
A6. D. Add. Dot number. Yeah.
Oh, doc.
Dot. Yeah, dot.
Like it's a doc.
Yeah. Account. Description. Okay. Enter. And then highlight that whole. Control B. And I would do like control. I'm sorry, I like control.
What's control 1 do?
Control 1 will open formatting. And then you can go over to borders. And select whatever border you want.
I'll-
Local outside and inside. Okay. And then press Control Shift L. And that gives you filter.
What did I press?
Ow.
Turned it into like a table. Right.
Now we're done.
Oh, it doesn't work on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it made this filter. So
Yeah,
anything
but
in this
it
column.
gives you like this.
Yeah, so you can filter anything.
Okay. All right. Well, let's look at our code. How would you do that without Control Shift L? A lot of people couldn't get that.
Oh, okay. You would. I think you go to view
Yeah.
or data.
I think it is.
Yeah, data. It's over there. There's a filter. It's even on the home one. It's right there. You see the filter?
Yeah.
There. And
You
it's
just
on-
It's
you just
the
highlight it
filter.
and push filter.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's look at it.
Still recording?
No, I stopped recording. All right. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Now let's see what we got here.
Hey,
Okay. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, so you select cell A16.
A6.
A6 member.
Big.
I'm sorry.
I put big.
Not
You want to sit up here?
No, no, I'm okay. Then you select B6, that active cell, you type in dot number. Then you select C6, type in account, B6, description, and then select the whole range and you hold it. Then, I guess that whole border, diagonal down is like the inside. Put a border there. And I guess it's describing the line size, and then same thing for,
Yeah.
that's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's like- so it's selecting the border, right? It's saying that there's no line style.
Oh, okay. Alright. And then below it is telling you.
And now I'm saying, so I must have been clicking around, and I didn't select border. But here, we can delete these lines. I'm sure we can delete these lines. We don't do anything.
Because it says none.
Yeah, I mean, it's not setting the border to anything.
Yeah.
But right here, now what? Something interesting.
So you're selecting the border then?
Yeah, the left edge. So,
It's setting the line style.
what's this width stuff all about? You guys, you've seen this width before, right? You know what it's doing? You know what the width means?
I guess you're picking something and you're doing certain things to it. Stop.
Yeah. So we've selected the borders. We've selected selection.borders, Excel left, edge left, dot line style is this. Dot color index is this. It's like we're setting a bunch of properties in one statement. So you can read it as this dot this. You don't need a width statement. You can just do them one by one. So this makes it so you only have to type this part once, and you set each property separately. So
What's it referring to?
each of these is a property of this right here.
What's the width referring to?
The width is just a
Reference.
mechanism of, it's just a mechanism of being able to set multiple properties more easily for this selection.
Is it referring to the last item or just the whole range?
No, it's referring to that one line with the selection of this. You're
Everything
this.
between the with statement refers to the top. Yeah, does that make sense?
That's not the question, but
Oh, okay.
the width, the width refers to something above it. Does
No,
it
it
refer to this? No? How does it?
You just
Okay.
you just for this.
So when you're clicking around, even if it's blank, they're going to show up in your code. You have to go back and kind of delete it all out.
Yeah. So if you're clicking around in your record macro, it'll have code.
Do indentations make a difference?
No. Not in this programming language.
You can theoretically write it all.
The whole code.
I mean, theoretically,
I don't know.
it's not good practice.
I don't think you could. I think a new line means something. We could theoretically not invent anything. But go ahead. So we set the properties of the left border. That's this width statement. The next width statement, we can set the properties for the top. Okay. Okay, here we are, top. The next width statement.
Bottom,
The next width statement.
right,
The next width statement.
and then vertically,
Yeah. Okay.
and then the filter.
Then let's see. Select borders, none again. Okay. We'll delete that. And this is the only line to create a filter. Okay. Cool. So if you wanted to create a template for a report, you would just put the words in, record macro, and then that would make a report pop up every time you run macro. And yours looks more like not a report, but a table.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to do another macro. And I was just screwing around during lunch, and well, you guys were just working really hard. But so I did exactly what you said, Jackie. I was trying to make a disco macro where the lights change and they flash. So the first thing I did was sort of just, okay, record macro. So I'll do the first part, and you guys are going to help me with the rest, okay? So hit record macro. Macro, we'll call it disco. Okay. So I highlighted column B, and I said, well, you should be red. No, wrong. Red. Highlighted column D, you should be green. Are these disco colors? Oops. Okay, we'll make it green again. I don't want to. Let's do 4 bars. Yellow? Good. Yellow, okay. Okay, now they're going to flash, so I'll change them. So let's change D to blue, H to brown?
Purple.
Oh, at least that.
F can be purple,
Back to like pink.
and B can be
Usually.
pink. Is there a pink?
That's
There's
gonna
more
more colors. Make it like that.
Oh man, that's a good color. Okay. Alright, so now stop the macro. I got to delete some stuff. I was clicking around. Okay, let's go look at it. Oh man, that's long. First thing I did was select column B, B.
Did you mess up?
Just, it has like nothing.
Okay.
There's a color no tension.
Alright, so you see how first it selects column B. Then with the selection it says pattern is solid, color index is automatic, color is 255, 0 tint and shade. Okay. Then the next column D, then more properties. Column F, change the color. Column H, change the color. Column D, change the color. And so on. Alright, so there's the metric.
Can you just select all solid and change to stripe? I don't even know if there is a stripe. in this one.
Stripe? I don't know. I think there might be. Okay, but I gotta keep focused.
Sorry.
All right. So let's just make everything back to how it was. No blue. No. No color. Yeah. No fill. Either way. There we go. Did I make it white? No fill. Okay. You know, when you're up in front of people, it's really hard to have a good train of thought. Okay, so if I run the macro, what's going to happen? Is it going to flash? So let's see if it flashes. Macro, disco. Run! Yeah, I sort of saw the flashing in there. You guys see the flashing?
Too fast.
I think you can change it.
Alright,
So
so.
you make it a loop so it keeps flashing?
Loop. We're going to do a loop last. So that is one of the things we have to do. We loop it, keep flashing. Okay, but what else do we need to do?
It doesn't work.
Go back to white.
Mine doesn't work.
It doesn't change colors?
It doesn't even put the colors down to begin with, and my code doesn't look anything like it. It's really weird.
What about other Mac users?
It has like no code.
Really?
It just says columns like B, colon B, column, and then like select, and then there's nothing else.
I'll tell you what. I'll do it on this version, then I'll, well, I can't show the Mac on this monitor.
It's just weird that because usually it works, and for this one it didn't. And then I tried it again, and it still didn't work.
Is it
All right, well, let's just continue here,
Yeah.
and then
I'm gonna try another map.
I'll try Mac. Okay,
What version do you have?
so we wanted to loop, but what else is the problem? You guys already said it was too fast, so we want to slow it down. So what should I do? I should Google it, right? All right, so what should I Google? I always do Excel, VBA, delay, slow, slow down. Okay, well I'm just gonna do slow down macro.
Just
All right.
to select.
Slow down a macro.
Doing solve and see if it's a column, like, you know, if it's a selected column or
Maybe.
whether it's something
Is it possible to run a code in slow motion? Okay, so it has this
There you go.
application.wait. Yeah, that'll. Yeah, so I saw that when I was looking around. I also saw something else.
Oh, can you see that again?
So I found this one. Oh, I don't want slow delay. My delay is too slow.
What was it? Application.wait.
Delay. All right. And let's see what this is the one I found. No, it was a different one. I'm letting you guys watch me do this because this is a skill you need to learn. Okay,
No.
this is where I found it.
Well, it says that I selected.
I found something they call the sleep API. All right, so I copy this code to the top. Control copy. I don't know if you guys are following along.
Wait T sex as signal.
So I go back to my, and I copy it to the very top of all the code. Okay. So now, what that allows me to do, and I'll go back to the web page.
Wait. T sex as signal. Is that what you're?
Hold on.
Stop, wait, T
It's
sex.
not the. I think there's an example right here.
So,
Right here. So you can now run this sleep argument, the sleep function, and your code will be delayed by that many milliseconds every time it sees that function.
but you have to insert it in the middle of the column selecting.
Yeah, that's right. So I'll just do something like sleep 100.
Was that 1 second?
It would be 1/10 of a second. Maybe we should do. No wait, it would be 1. Yeah. So maybe we do half a second. So 500. So 500 milliseconds. All right.
After the select or after the color fill? Before the end width?
So we want to set the color.
We want the sleep to be after pattern tint and shade 0 before end width.
I think as long as we're consistent, it'll be okay.
Okay.
Okay. So let's try running my disco macro.
Uh-oh.
might get here
It
too.
doesn't work.
With the pause and the sleep.
No, it's not.
Yeah, all right. Cool. You see that?
That's only half a second.
Yeah, it gets a tap a second.
Wait, are we gonna,
What?
are we gonna put it on a
Not yet. The thing I didn't like about it is it's too predictable. It's not random. I want to randomize. I want to randomize how much time it is between flashes, and then I'll put it through a loop.
It doesn't work in Mac, but it works in Mac.
Oh, the Mac
The
doesn't
Sleep
work.
500 it won't work.
The Mac hates this. So
Well, Mac users, I'm sorry. I
I have
said.
Excel for 2000.
So let's figure out how to randomize the sleep function. Like randomize the amount of time of the delay. So what should I do? Google it, right?
yeah.
Excel, VBA,
randomized.
randomizer, random number. Yeah. Okay. This is always the solution.
Except for you run across some schlock.
Random number. Random number.
Random color.
Yeah, random color. I looked at that. Didn't help. Okay, this is exactly what I need. This is my random function. Integer upper bound minus lower bound plus 1 times rand plus lower bound. So what it's saying is we have to set an upper bound. So what's the maximum number of milliseconds? Maybe a second and a half or 1 second? 1 second? What do you think?
999. What?
What's
1 second.
1 second's maximum? The minimum could be quarter second or an eighth of a second. Okay, so let me show you how to implement this. Let me copy it. Okay, so instead of sleep 500, we want sleep random number. I think I could put it in, yeah, just like that. But we still need upper bound and lower bound variables, so we have to create those. Say dim upper bound, comma lower bound as long. So now upper bound is 1 second, so that would be 1,000.
I said 1,000.
1,000 milliseconds.
It's always in milliseconds.
Yeah, it's in milliseconds.
What's dim again?
Then is setting a variable.
And long is what?
Long is a variable type, and long holds integers up to
63,000.
a big number. Lower bound equal to, you said a quarter second, an eighth of a second. I think. So now we should get a random number between 1 second and an eighth of a second, and we want to copy this for all of the sleeps. I guess we could do a control replace. Let's just do this. All right.
You'll
Yeah, it
post
doesn't
this
work.
later.
The sleep function.
Yeah.
Yeah, sleep doesn't work for your Mac. I'm
Now I
sorry.
got it in this sleep too.
Oh, whoops. What did I do? Oh, it's running in the background. Can't see it. Let's run it from here.
Inserting it in the middle, right?
All right. Macro disco run.
Can you make it quicker?
Yeah, you think 1 second is too long for a maximum? It was kind of long. I think it was. Let's just change the upper bound number to 650. That's what I was thinking. Okay. Still a little slow, huh? When we loop it, we'll change it again. Now I was thinking we don't want to have random. Now we don't want the same color moving over and over. We want to randomize the color too, right? All right. So, how do we randomize the color? Well, if we look at our code, the color was set somehow. I don't know what range that is. So we need to figure out what possible ranges there could be for these colors.
Well, the other one's like way more.
Yeah, this is like
Because you pass it in.
5 million. This one's 255. So let's find the upper and lower bound of colors and make it random too. Okay, so we know that the color is a property of the range. Selection is the range of things. So the interior. So I mean, we're gonna have to Google it. So yeah, cell VBA cell color. Cell color index. Now I know there's a few different palettes, so this one's only 56 colors. That's not the one we're working on. Change cell background color. Dot color equals RGB. Yeah, this is the one we want. Dot color equals, but it's probably like between 0 and how many colors is RGB? Like 2.3 million or something? No, it's more than that because it's 5 million. You know what RGB is? Set the red, green, and blue between 0 to 255. And those are all the possible colors. So we maybe to decimal? No. I don't know.
You know how right now each column has its own specific color and changes to one other? You just add 3 more colors per column and then let it interchange between them.
You mean do a whole, just have 4 colors, for example?
Yeah, and then it'll just, at least going through 4 colors per column will make it look like a whole lot of colors between all of them.
Well, let's just do this because I know this works. There's another property called color index, and that's from 1 to 56. And it'll give us kind of all these colors here on the left. So that's enough, right? So it's called color index is the property. So it's not in here right now, but we could add it. So we just add it to our with statement to say dot color index equal to random number. Yeah. Except we want it to have a different upper bound and lower bound, so we'll just make upper bound color, lower bound color, and lower bound color. Then we gotta dim those. It's kind of fun. Upper bound color, lower bound color, Okay. So our upper bound color is 56. And our lower bound. So, what's your question?
Sorry, are you still making a random color?
Yeah, I'm making a random color. I'm setting the upper and lower bound because for the color index property, it can go from 1 to 56. So now,
I thought it went to like 5 million.
yeah, so that's this property, dot color.
Uh,
And I couldn't find the whole range online.
So do you keep
So-
both, or do you delete the color equals 255?
So now I'm going to delete this. I'm going to just delete all these. Then I don't know if I probably need this solid, and I'll keep these 3. And I'll just paste over the rest of them. So they're all random. So for every time there's a color change in the column, it has one of these with statements. So I'm just copying over my new property, where the new with statement says the color index is random. So
And where did you define the random at the top?
the random is this piece of code right here.
Wait, I'm sorry, where did you define the upper bound and lower bound at the top?
Yeah, the upper bound. So this is upper bound, lower bound for the sleep, for the delay. And this is upper bound, lower bound for the color. So I just need to do one more. Okay, now all the colors should be randomized. All right. I always get lost here. Disco, run.
Oh, it's gonna speed up, right?
Yeah, I didn't speed up yet. I'll wait till I loop it, then I'll speed
Still can't get sleep.
up. On the Mac?
No, on PC.
Okay. I'll show you in a second. Let me run it again, see if the colors change. Yeah. Ooh. We need the music in the background. Alright, so now let's loop it. I'll show you that piece of code again. To get the sleep to work, you add this to the very, very top. This line, these 2 lines.
I have options listed already.
No, and then this one.
Private declare sub sleep loop for anyone to window.
Is that, you have that? Oh, well then your sleep won't work. If you put this in, under option explicit, then your sleep will work. I'll wait for you to copy it real fast. It's under, I found it on Google.
I think about getting the right thing off.
Yeah, there's all kinds of shit on them.
Because there's such like random things also that I'm like,
You just sort of test it and see if it works. If it works, you use it.
But lots of people post up and say, this doesn't work. Why?
Here, let me get rid of these other macros. I'll keep them so I can send them to you. Okay. So now I need to loop it, alright? So, I don't know, what should our strategy be for looping?
well,
Okay, what am I going to Google? VBA loop function? Cell VBA loop function. Using loops in VBA. Let's see if there's some code. Do while. Or do loop until. Yeah, we can do
so
that.
would you put the do like
Until what? Until
never?
we can make a counter. We could set an integer that counts. Every time it loops through, it gets up to like 10, for example. Counts up 1 every time. And once it reaches 10, the loop will end.
Can you just like make it so you press a button and then
Yes, we're going to do a button. Yeah, we'll do a button. That,
or just a button on
there's buttons that can terminate macros, I think.
Right.
So, yeah. See, if if you think you can do it, you can probably do it. So we put a do here. Well, we don't want the do right there. We want the do right here. So we want to do this, and then put the loop until counter equal to 10. Okay, we don't have anything on counter yet, so let's just give counter as integer, and we'll say counter is equal to 0, and then somewhere in our code we'll count counter. We'll make it count up. So at the top of our code we'll say counter is equal to counter plus 1. And now we have, it should loop through 10 times.
You don't have to put equal. You don't have to put that anywhere else. The counter.
And let's just do some, no, counter equals counter plus 1, it'll count 10 times and then it'll stop. And let's see what the counter is so we don't get bored. Let's say range, I don't know, range I1
What is
is
it?
equal to counter.
Oh, it'll show the counter.
And it should show the counter in I1.
Okay.
I1, is that a good place? Yeah, right here. Okay, so let's try it.
It's not counting.
Hey, stop. At 2.
It's like loading still.
Oh, it broke it. It's too powerful. This computer can't handle it. You can delete that. I don't know why it broke it. It's not even very. Is anyone else doing this? I'll send you the code. But why? Oh, it did it. But apparently it was too. It's kind of a nice shade. Nice.
Purple.
What would you say? Colors go nicely together. Match. Let's try it again. I didn't like that. There we go. So, hold on.
It's good. Not panic at this.
You know this? All right,
It's a
fine.
band, but they're not disco.
Oh, they're not this.
That's what I'm saying.
EG's or Beethoven's fifth of Beethoven. Fifth of Beethoven. Now, where's the audio?
Oh, you have to change the station.
You have to change the station because now it's playing pop.
Why? I added variety.
Yeah, but it's still that station.
No, you have to change
It's a bad station for what you want. Your station.
You know this one? Okay, that's turn the lights off. Turn the lights down. Yeah. Kind of goes with the music. Doesn't matter what. Okay, you can download that from iTunes now. Oh, you recorded that. Was I dancing? Okay. So this brings us to where?
Can you go back to
Oh.
the top so I can see the line?
You want to like decrease this eventually? It was pretty good actually. Did you want to do what? Oh, to see that line? Sure. Okay, so this brings me to another possible project. If you guys just want to sort of trick out an Excel spreadsheet, do something creative, that's an okay project. You just gotta show us how you do
Are you
What
referring
else?
to the group project?
Are you talking about the group project or what?
it. That could be a possible group project. But remember, you're supposed to email me by today if you want to do something other than the SQL form, the SQL form, or the project for making it easy to run SQL commands. So if you want to do something other than that, you can either talk to me or email me by today. This project's coming up. You know what I should really do is make the other columns black, so that there's not any light. Anyway, so I'll send you guys this code.
No, I'm just watching him, so I like know what he's doing.
I'll send you the code. I'll send you the code. Yeah. Question.
I know we're supposed to email you by today, and it's absolutely fine to do the project that you requested, because it's a good project, but would you be okay if we did email you up until Monday, so we could have a little more time to converse amongst ourselves? And obviously, we know we're running the risk that we're shortening the time if we're not working on it, or if it doesn't get approval, but we would like to show you something nice, and we haven't decided what that is yet.
Well, it's definitely not recommended. I'd like to have something today. If you absolutely can't, then you'll need a good reason why. Yeah.
Can you explain the input box for part of it?
Okay, so I've had some requests to show an input box, so let me do that, and then we'll be done. So let's just call it an input box macro. So we'll call it. Oh, you know what we forgot was we forgot the button, right? So insert a button and see how button one click, yes.
Don't you want to put it on disco?
So you go back into the Visual Basic, and I wish it added the code for me. Sub button one click. So when you're doing buttons, you have to have the name of the button. You guys did the form tutorial. You had to have the name in the name of the procedure. Remember that? We have to have the name of the button there. Underscore click. And you just put the name of the macro, disco, and it should run the macro when I push the buttons. All right. Yeah, see, it just runs the macro. Now, I have to wait.
Sub button click macro, or sub button click disco.
You should have like a start button in it.
Yeah, I need a stop button that can end a macro. So let's figure out how to do that while it's running. VBA button and macro. How to stop VBA code. Add another button called cancel button that sets a flag and then check for that flag. If you have long loops and stuff, then check there. So it says cancel equals true. If
Yeah, so
cancel.
if you press
Oh,
cancel.
if cancel.
Then exit.
I see. So if we go into our macro and add some code that says something like this,
But don't you need the whole thing? Click, because the cancel button on click, cancel equals true.
yeah, we have to have this and if cancel, then exit sub.
Yeah. Do another stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think we need.
No, so you have to tailor it to your own code. So what it's saying is, if we go into our code and say cancel equal to false, we might have to declare that we're gonna. Can I set my counter to 1, please? Okay, so let me declare it. So then cancel as Boolean. Okay, so Boolean is true false. Then cancel is equal to false. So do, we could just say loop until counter is equal to 1.
We say loop until like you click that button somehow.
Yeah, we could. Yeah. Let's go back to their example a little faster. It's like 100 ways to do it. If cancel, oh, then exit sub. Okay. So at the end, we could just say if cancel, then exit sub. And it formatted it. Okay. So now if cancel's true, then this will run. So our other button, which will be called sub button 2 click, we'll just set cancel equals true.
Aren't you supposed to put exit sub? I mean,
Wouldn't you have to say if cancel equals true, then exit sub?
That's what it does. If cancel is shorthand.
You don't need to say
Yeah, you don't
what
need
it
to say it.
equals.
If cancel means if cancel is equal to true.
And what did you set cancel to at the top?
False.
Okay.
Okay, well we have to create another button. I can't click it while it's running. Variable not defined. I think I might have to do this private service.
why?
There's something called what's the term? I can't remember the exact term. But variables that you declare can either be seen by other sub-procedures or not. And you have to be very careful with declaring your variable, or you have to be very careful with that. So it confuses me all the time because in every computer language is different on how you do that. And in their example, they did private, and that might make it, that might do what we need to do. I'm not sure. Cancel. Hey,
Look at a minute.
I feel like you can't do it if the counters do.
variable not defined. Now, anyway, I've got to figure that out.
Maybe if you said if cancel equals true.
I don't understand how a sub can be private, but then it's still using the declarations from the other stuff.
Yeah, it should be public or something, right?
Yeah.
There's public too. Yeah, well, I just did that because I was copying them. They did private. Oh, cancel was declared outside of the sub. Okay, so we'll declare cancel out here, outside of the subroutines. Okay, now every subroutine should be able to see it.
Why did you put it outside?
Because it was having trouble communicating between the subs what the value of cancel was. Like, because I used dim cancel here, so this one couldn't see it. It didn't know.
Oh, right, because that's outside.
But now I put cancel outside of all of them, so everyone can see it. Well, it won't let me say it's false. Okay, well we'll say cancel's false right here. Okay, see, it's just trial and now it lets me click this button. It doesn't let me click the button. See,
Because it's still running.
it's still running. It doesn't pause. It doesn't stop. It doesn't give me a chance.
Maybe because of the counter.
Anyway, let me do an input box example. We'll figure this out later. Okay, so sub input box. So Google VBA Excel input box.
That's what I got.
Input box.
I got this.
So you just type input box. Then you say type SQL statement here, and you run it.
I got that too.
Maybe I should not call it.
What does it matter what you call it?
I was confusing the name of the sub and this input box variable.
Like 4 hours.
There's like a conflict of names.
Yeah. I spent like 4 hours trying to like
What I just did.
because like everywhere on the line it says info box. It says something.
Oh,
Then what did you do? You just ran it?
yeah, I just ran it. I could make a button that runs it though.
You did it in like 20 seconds.
Yeah, sorry. So I could
That's
say
why I haven't started
select.
this yet, and that's what we do, right?
Select star from, products. Say, okay. So what you do is you say, I don't know. You could say range. This is just to show you it works. Range A1 equal to input box. Well, that's not going to work. So let's
Are you
just
trying to set
say
a variable?
A is equal to input box. And let's dim A as string.
Wait, what are you doing?
Yeah. What?
So I'm saying whatever's in the input box, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm still figuring it out.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to do this. That didn't.
Are you trying to make it
Oh, it
so
did
that
work.
it puts it in cell fashion?
Okay, so what this code did was I said there's a string. I set that equal to whatever we typed into the input box, and then I just put that in cell A1. So that'll help you a lot with homework number 3.